Hello and welcome to episode 105 of Gamers of Lost Spark podcast. I'm your host, Anthony Chesson, and joining me this week, it's the other spark on the pod, the pizza pirate of Nuneaton, and my bake-off buddy, it's Mr. James Thomas.
Hello! How are you doing,
Hello.
sir?
I'm not too bad, How are you?
I'm good, yes. Well, while Darren is away, this is our bake-off special, I feel, for the summer.
Exactly, I was like, Darren's not here, so unfortunately Darren can't make the pod today, but we've been kind of away for a couple of weeks, so we thought James and I would kind of jump on and talk about the games we've been playing, but Bake Off, are you enjoying the Bake Off?
I'm actually... against my better judgment, I'm now watching it quite avidly, because I don't know if people remember from last year the furore that was when Channel 4 bought the Great British Bake Off off from BBC One, and I think I, in some sort of churlish fit of rage, said, I'm not watching this. They'll just sort of popularise it. They'll just try and make it edgy in some way, shape or form. But it's actually really good. I'm really happy they haven't really touched or changed anything. It's almost like Star Wars 7. They were so afraid of the backlash, they made it like you expected. They didn't want to harm anyone's thoughts or memories of it, so it's the safest possible thing you could imagine.
What a great way of associating it. That, you know, for me, I'm like, yes, you're spot on. No, exactly. I mean, I must admit, I think the first episode, I was a little bit kind of, by the end, I was happy, but it still felt a little bit clunky. The thing that we're hating here in the Chesson household is the adverts. You know, so we don't start watching until 20 past 8, and there's about 17 minutes of adverts, so we can kind of, so we'll potter down in the kitchen and kind of get the teas ready and whatever we're eating along with the Bake Off, and then we will then start doing that kind of about 20 past. But last week when they had Bread Week, so we had Bread Week last week, it was always a big one, I think, within the kind of Bake Off world. The Bread Week was always a big one. That really felt to me like the Bake Off. It felt warm and fuzzy and cuddly and funny. You know, it felt like that Noel and Sandy Toksvig, it felt like they had kind of relaxed into the role a bit more. And it really did feel like that was like, yeah, no, we're okay. It's okay. Yeah. Everything's all right.
Because that was always my worry about how the presenters would bond together. Because Mel and Sue were sort of the lifeblood. But I guess because they were together for so long, I can remember them being on TV when I was teenagers. So they had that chemistry. And you can see that Sandy Toksvig and Noel Fielding they have the right mentality, I think. I think Sandy Toksvig is just the most lovable, cuddleable, safe, comedic pair of hands you could get as a presenter. And I think to begin with, Noel Fielding, who is usually a bit more surreal, shall we say, for anyone who's seen Mighty Boosh, I thought he was a bit more of a long shot, but he does seem to fit in the right places. He can throw that bit of weirdness in, which I think is needed, just to keep the contestants, even just like knowing they're with friends, you know. He's not too cold. He's just striking the right level. But his voiceovers, to me, they're the most patronising tone of voice I think I've heard in a voiceover for a long time. I think he needs to improve on that. But in general, those two are growing into it, I think.
Yes, no, absolutely. I mean, it's Caramel Week this week, isn't it? As we're recording, we're close to Bake Off, so I'll probably watch it after this.
So we're going to try and we've got to finish about 20 past 8, is that right?
Yeah, we've got to do this in an hour.
We've got 65 minutes.
Start now. But yeah, though, I'm really enjoying it. And I'm also enjoying the Extra Slice as well, because we used to watch the Extra Slice on BBC 2, I think it was, and that's now on Channel 4 on a Thursday or Friday night, and even that's fun. And it's actually the interesting thing about the Extra Slice is that it's now an hour long, so they've got more kind of, they've padded it out a little bit, so there's more kind of filling. Audience. Yeah, exactly. Oh, nice. Yeah, there was another layer to it, you know, and it's like, so they've really have the kind of more kind of audience participation, and they talk about the week a little bit more. So that's actually a bonus of having that extra hour.
Because I didn't even realise they were doing the Extra Slice, so I might have to take a gander. But do you think they've actually, in some ways this year, they've tried to step it up a notch?
Yes.
Like the showstopper finale in week 1 was create a cake that looks like something real, and it has to be the same scale. So one of my favourites was just an ice bucket with the champagne bottle coming out of it, and a draped towel over the top of it, and it looks superb. Like, they did
Yes.
some sugarwork ice cubes, and it was absolutely pristine. And then this week with Bread Week, they've done again sculptures with bread. And the week before, they were doing, which was right at my street, board game biscuits.
Yes.
So they're going slightly more novelty, but as showstoppers, they're doing all right.
Yeah, absolutely. I think I think, is it Phil, who's kind of the one who's been Star Baker a couple of times? He did the bag. He did the bag last week out of bread, and that just looked absolutely fantastic. You know, it looked absolutely superb. And I really think that has, and some of the technical challenges as well have really kind of stepped up. Like, they had fortune cookies as well, and there was things like that. So they were all kind of challenging bakes that I'm really kind of, normally it's like the first couple of weeks, it's all kind of, you know, softly while they work out who's good and who's not, but they've really kind of just gone straight in with this one.
Yeah, although it's still triggering the same response from me that I just want to go and eat something halfway through. So the first week, I did try and make some shortbread and apple cake and what have you to take into work afterwards, and I'm wondering what this is going to happen this week. Like, which way is the caramel going to push me? I'm sure there might be some biscuits involved at some point.
Yes, I'm sure there's got to be some sorted caramel billionaire shortbread or something like that.
Oh, that sounds delicious.
It's a sugar coma, but it's a good sugar coma. So how's your week been?
Yeah, it's been good. It's been good. I was actually off work last week. Ali and I had a week off, and to be honest, we didn't actually get ourselves organised to go anywhere. I think we had grand hopes months ago about actually taking off, going to somewhere so we could either get some sun or go and see some touristy sites, but we actually stuck around the Midlands. So I did a few day trips here and there, but also during the week, my brother, Matt, came up and we co-opted Destiny, which was quite nice. Got to show off the pizza oven to him and shoot some fools on Saturn. No, not Saturn. Where are we going? I can't even remember. This might be a prelude to Destiny is just blending into one big shoot fest. I can't remember what's happening.
Nessus is one of them. Nessus?
Yeah. Nessus. That sounds familiar. Strange coloured planet. So it was a bit of a pick and mix week, but it was quite nice, to be honest. Just getting away from work, and as much as I enjoy it, a week's worth of lie-ins is well received.
Yes, indeed. It's quite funny, actually, because we haven't had a holiday yet. So Nicola and I keep kind of planning a holiday, but with what happened with the movie room, which we're still trying to organise, and work is just frantic at the moment. We keep pushing our holiday back. We keep going, oh no, I can't do that week because I've got to roll out this project, or I can't do that because I had a surprise project kind of drop on my department, but no one else could kind of run it but me. So it was like, oh, I can't do holiday that week. So we're kind of
getting pushed back and push back.
Exactly. We're looking at November, December now, and I totally get what you mean. It's just like a kind of a week of lie-ins would just be lovely. Kind of not doing anything until like midday.
We're not dissimilar. I've still got 3 weeks to take before the end of the year, so I've got to squeeze them in somewhere. It's, if the boss is listening, please can I roll it over? But
yes, See, we can't. Our holiday actually finishes in March, and then I think we have to kind of. It's a financial year rather than calendar year, but I do have a lot of holiday left, so it's just crazy. So yes, so what did you do with your week off? So apart from, like, did you go anywhere, or like did you actually kind of venture out the house apart from just eating pizza?
We did do a couple
Destiny?
of things. We as we couldn't go away, we've actually got into the habit more nowadays of trying to go round city day trips around Britain, because we've done a few big holidays, but then we try and balance it out with actually seeing what's around us. Because for so long it's like, oh, we've got to go abroad, got to get some sun, got to go and see the sights. But actually, in recent years, we've been trying to explore like York and London and what have you. So this time round, because we our bunny sitters had moved out of Nuneaton recently, so we couldn't call on them. So we just did some day trips over to Stoke, which, strangely enough, talking of the Bake Off, I don't know if anyone saw the Great British Throwdown last year. There's basically the pottery version of the Bake Off.
Oh, right.
So that got Ali and me looking at pots and clay and all sorts. So we went over to the potteries to have a look at the museums over there. Then went down to the Black Country to see Iron Bridge, and also went over to Birmingham to play some crazy golf, because as soon as you've played crazy golf, that's a holiday. That's when you know you've been on holiday.
You've had at least one round of... Do you know what? It was really funny. The other day I went to the post office, which is in the next town from us, really early in the morning. It was like 6:30, the post office opens, and it was like, so I dived down to the post office to get this package, which I'll get to in a moment, which is I haven't spoken to about it yet on the pod. And I got lost of where this was in Tunbridge, and I found a dinosaur Crazy Golf.
What?
And it was misty as well. So there was this mist just rolling over this dinosaur Crazy Golf in Tunbridge, because I live in Tunbridge Wells, and then there's Tonbridge. You never get the two confused. We're the nice one. And I was there, and I got lost, and I was turning around. There was a giant T-Rex, and it was like the misty covered Crazy Golf.
That's okay. Whenever we invite ourselves down to see you, that's what we're doing, and that invite might be coming sooner than you think with that information.
You're like, we're coming down now, but it was just like, it was incredible. It was just like, I had to Google it later just in case I was dreaming, and I was like falling asleep at the wheel. But it was just, it was.
It's the one thing Ali and I really enjoy. Like, every time we go away on holiday, we have to find a Crazy Golf, and it's so many places now have themed it around pirates, the Caribbean, like tiki huts or dinosaurs, but it works so well. Like, yes. I love the idea of just being able to like try and get that ball sliding between Triceratops' legs and just pop it into the hole at the back. It's a simple pleasure, but it keeps me so happy. But it actually paid off quite well last year. We went on a stag do. Actually, no, it was a wedding stag do holiday. So the entire thing was in 1 week over in Spain. And for the stag do itself, we went golfing. I am awful at golf. Like, actual full-blown, proper-sized golf. I have played, like, 1.5 rounds in my entire life. And if I get double par and only lose half the balls, I'm happy. But my short game... short game is amazing. I actually managed to get par on one hole because I managed to just like one-shot it on the green. Like, getting there was just like pinging all over the place. But you put me on a green, I'm happy as Larry at that point.
So it's the old pitch and putt.
Oh, not even the pitching, just the putting.
Just the putting, because my parents live kind of in Lincolnshire and in Skegness, which is a very kind of holiday town. So it was like surrounded by pitch and putts and crazy golfs, and so a lot of my summers was always kind of spent like kind of especially like pitch and putt and full blown golf. But yeah, no, I love all that. I just think
you sound like a worthy adversary.
Oh, I do enjoy. I haven't played golf for ages, but I do enjoy. I definitely enjoy kind of pitch and putt, and then yes, we'll go to Dino Land or whatever it's called, Dino Golfland. Superb. But the thing that I was picking up when I went down to the Dinosaur Crazy Golf was Darren and I were chatting on the pod a couple of weeks ago. We were talking about Firewatch, and we were talking about Campo Santo doing a thing where someone had, if you bought the diary or a notebook from Campo Santo, there was this little kind of inlay for a book club, and someone had filled it out and sent it back, and Campo Santo made them the book. They were the only person who did it, so they made the book and made a special event of it. And so I didn't know that the Campo Santo had like a merchandise store, so I bought so I went on after the pod, I kind of went on and had a look, and I bought this amazing print that was an Ollie Moss, because obviously Ollie Moss was the creative designer behind Firewatch. So we Nicola and I, we really like Ollie Moss. I've got a Harry Potter print just behind me that Ollie Moss did, and so when I saw this, I was like, I have to have this. We have to have this in the spare room. So obviously, I made sure the wife was happy with it first. So I was like, can I get this? And she was like, yep, you can. That I approve. So basically, it's just like a blue landscape of Firewatch, with the Firewatch tower in the middle, but it's all blue. It's like a dark.
It's like a dusk type. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So instead of the bright orange, which Nicola kind of has a bit of a thing with orange, she doesn't really like orange. So instead of having it kind of orange, it's all just like dusky, bluey dark. So we got that, and it came, and Campo Santo, it was quick to deliver from San Francisco. It was like a week and a bit, and it turned up. So I took it to our local framing shop in Tunbridge Wells. So the guy, I gave it, I said, all right, I got it in, it was in the tube, and I got it out. I said, right, can you frame this for me? And he went, and he looked at it, and he went, I should know that, shouldn't I? And I was like, it's from Firewatch. So then we have like this 20-minute conversation about Firewatch. It's just like, and he was like, oh, I haven't played it all. I'm like, no, you really need to play it. It's a fantastic game, and I think he got it in a humble bundle or something like that, and he hasn't played it yet.
Sounds better than when I tried to take Connect Sports 2 BAFTA certificates. Yeah, Connect Sports 2 won a BAFTA. I'm just going to put that down. I took that to get framed, and the chap looked at it and going like, huh, anything I've heard of? As I explained to him, I was like, nah. Just like, saying like a... dejected, I'm a gamer, but what is this you're handing me? So,
so you didn't get to steal the BAFTA when you kind of...
No, I've got some pictures of us holding it, but just lots of certificates, just one BAFTA trophy itself.
Nice, awesome stuff. So, what have you been playing, James? What have you been playing this week?
Well, it's actually been a while since we caught up, and I did go through a few things back at the start of the month, just trying to dabble, because the Recore Definitive Edition came out, because I'm pretty sure we spoke about it last year, but I really like the, excuse the pun, the core of Recore, just like the combat, the movement, the robots, just that fun swapping around, moving around, fighting actual mechanic. I thought they did really well. It's unfortunately like the structure it was wrapped in, so I really went back to see if they'd improved any of that. And although they've spruced it up, they've improved the load times, they've added a new robot itself, which is good, but after a couple of hours, the sort of same flaws of having to go back in and change robots every 5 minutes if you want to go and unlock things in the open world just really started grating. So bounced off that. They've improved it. I still think it's worth a punt, because you can still get a good 8 hours, I think, out of it before really starting to hit that wall of constant robot swapping. But as soon as I managed to bounce off that, I think it was Life is Strange, Rabbids, and Destiny 2 all seemed to came out within the space of about 5 days of each other. So we went from nothing to being utterly spoiled at all. But Rabbids is the thing that really has surprised me, because I was really sceptical, probably like most people, when they saw just even the sheer concept of trying to put these inane minion-like creatures in a beloved world. But by golly, they actually work. Nintendo have actually seemed to just relax a little, hand over not only the IP, but also just let loose the reins on what they consider sensible and just like canon. Because you get them, you get dropped into a world where the Rabbids and Mario have mixed due to some weird VR science. The Rabbids have got hold of some technology that will merge things. So you get like a rabbit that's also a piranha plant. You'll get the Rabbids crossed with most things, be it piranha plants, lamps. Like you'll get huge statues of them on the toilets. You'll get a Mario cross. It's just nuts, and I'm so happy to see just like the casual approach Nintendo have gone. Just like, we trust you.
Yes.
Like, you've obviously got a level of insanity, and we appreciate that. And as long as you don't cross this line, you're fine. But it's just so silly that it works.
Yes, and it's what I like about the game, because I've been playing it as well. I think we've been playing the same games over the last couple of weeks.
Yep.
But what I've really enjoyed is that it started off really easy, so it kind of brought you into understanding. I mean, if you've played what's the game I'm thinking that it's XCOM. If you played XCOM, you'll kind of understand this kind of turn-based and what it is. And so Nicola and I were playing it. Nicola was playing it on the controller. She had the controller. I was just kind of commentating and just watching what she was doing to start off with. And it was really, she was like, she got it straight away. She found the tutorial got you where you needed to go. But I have noticed, and in typical kind of Nicola fashion, is that she can't progress out of a world until she's got perfect on every map. So she just tortures herself. So she's just kind of gone back, and I've noticed, like, to get perfect, so Luigi doesn't die. It's always Luigi.
It's always Luigi. It's like they hate me. I don't know what.
Because who have you got in your team?
Okay, so you start with Mario, and my bugbear of this game is that you always have to have freaking Mario. And so you can't drop him, you can't get rid of him, because he's the one that I want to put to one side. But you also start with the best character in the game, Rabid Peach.
Yes.
That lady is full of some sass, and I love her.
She's always taking selfies, isn't she? She's always like, it's...
And I think that on its own would drive me nuts. That sort of like slight nod to the today's youth culture. It's like, hey, we're hip as well. But it's the level of attitude she brings to the rest of it is brilliant. Because have you got to the bit where she actually meets Princess?
No, I don't think we've just got to the bit where we've unlocked Rabid Mario.
That is my highlight, possibly gaming moment of the year, when Rabid Peach and Peach meet. So
right.
it's probably overblowing it completely, but it made me laugh out loud, something rotten. But I've also so you also start with Rabid Luigi, which is obviously a poor imitation of the Nintendo god that Luigi is, and they're all right to begin with. They're also a bit of a muchness, because they all just got these hand cannons, I guess, these laser guns like Mega Man, and eventually they sort of slowly evolve as you get more access to the skill trees. Mario seems to be more of a close combat specialist because he unlocks a hammer. You get Rabid Peach, who is more of a support character who can heal people, and Rabid Luigi then turns out to have a rocket launcher. And as you progress, these talents become more and more required, and you meet Luigi. Luigi's a sniper, which he's actually really... You can unlock this Overwatch mode that allows him to shoot 3 times on the enemy's turn, which is devastating at times. And so from being this very vanilla set of opening tutorial levels, I love how it then just slowly evolves into you need these special abilities, and just introducing them to you slowly. So it'll give you a new character, give you a few more skill points, and just let you discover and unfold quite naturally, rather than trying to ram it down your throat that, hey, this one's the sniper. Guys, you need to use this. He's the sniper. Use him from long range. That I would almost think the Nintendo of old would do. Because that's the big fear I think we had when Zelda came out. It's open world, but will they limit us with how they shackle us to the old Zelda ideas? And again, they let loose. They let the game speak for itself. And so probably a combination of Ubisoft and Nintendo. But it's nice to see that freeform discovery just there within the game.
Yes, absolutely. You're absolutely spot on. And when you do unlock a Luigi, it's not, you don't have a whole 5 other worlds full of sniper maps where you have to just use Luigi. It's totally up to you. But I didn't know that you were stuck with Mario. I didn't know you had to keep Mario in your party.
He was the first one I tried to dump.
Really? I think Nicola was the first one she wanted to dump was the Rabid Luigi for the proper Luigi.
Yep.
And then I think she's happy now, because there was another one that she unlocked, but she was like, nope, I'm happy with my group. So she's got her group now, and she's really happy with it. We haven't played co-op yet, because you can play co-op on some levels.
I keep forgetting it's got co-op, yeah.
So I don't know what that's like, but so we just sit there every now and then. I kind of get to play, but most of the time I'm kind of, and it's the first game where I've actually, yeah, exactly. It's the first game where I've ever kind of sat there and had just as much enjoyment watching someone play. Because normally I'm a bit itching, and I'll go and get my Switch and I'll play something else. So I'll play because we're not in the movie room, because that's out of whack at the moment. It was only until Destiny that we had 2 TVs in the living room, and still now it's a little bit messy, so I don't quite like it. So, but I just sat there and I was watching a podcast, but then I just kind of ended up just shutting down the podcast and just watching and helping with this, and hindering more than helping, I would think. But it was just, I just love it, and the soundtrack is incredible. So it's Grant Kirkhope, isn't it?
If you shut your eyes, I swear it would be Viva Pinata playing on there.
Absolutely. I tweeted that, I think, when I was playing it. It's Viva Pinata, it's Donkey Kong, it's Banjo. There's some really good, and it's available on Apple Music, and I've even been playing it in the office while I've been working and doing kind of project plans and stuff. I've just had the Mario plus Rabbids soundtrack just playing away, and it's just really nice, and I just absolutely love it. Yeah, you're absolutely spot on. It really does feel like you're playing Viva Pinata.
Yeah. It gets really quite hard, though, as well. I think I'm at the early stages of World 3, and I think there's only 4 worlds, I think. But it's properly ratcheted up the requirements. So I think if Nicola's trying to get perfect on every single level, this is going to be some going, I think, at this point in time, because the enemies get far more abilities as you go by. Like early on, you get just enemies that can move, or heavy enemies that will come up and punch you in the face. But then as you go through the world, they will start echoing your abilities back at you, which is a really nice twist, I think, because it'll allow you to have to try and use your abilities far more far more, I guess, clinically, rather than just going, I'm just going to put everyone on Overwatch and let all the enemies run towards me. They actually seem to get far more I guess, effective against you. But then you combine that with a few of the novelty levels that go in there, right? So escorting Toad across the world is never fun because I hate that little man. At least he doesn't talk too much. But then you have chain chomps in the middle of the world as well that will then go and attack the nearest person. And it just... For something like... I really enjoyed XCOM. I really enjoyed XCOM, but this has a level of personality and novelty about so many levels that for what it loses in depth, I think it gains in just sheer joy.
Yes, absolutely. I couldn't agree more. Have you just played it on the TV or have you played it in handheld mode?
Oh, bits of both.
What's it like in handheld? Because I'm actually not this weekend. The weekend after, I've got to go away for a weekend for work, and I was thinking about getting my own copy of Mario plus Rabbids because I won't be able to get it away from Nicola. I was wondering what it's like, kind of in the handheld mode.
Yeah, it's absolutely fine, and it's one of those games that I don't know which mode is better. Because obviously you get bigger and brighter colours on the TV, but you lose nothing because it's that turn-based. You can pan around the field, so you're not going to lose anything because it's a smaller screen. I haven't noticed any slowdown. There's no issues with it, I think, in either mode.
That's really good to hear. I mean, I love the surprise that this game is because, as you said, when it was announced at E3, everyone was kind of like, "What the hell?" You know, it was almost a Minion style. What? You know, because people are like, "What are you doing?" And this was like, "This is crazy," and a lot of people scoffed at it. But all I'm noticing on Twitter is, as soon as somebody plays this game, they absolutely love this game.
Yeah. It's not without its flaws, though. I think there's a couple of things because especially as the enemies get more skills later on, there are a couple that almost seem a bit cheaty. I don't think it's a spoiler to say that one of the enemies eventually get like a teleport move. And it just feels dirty and low. Like it's because you've got quite a few Overwatch abilities, or you've got some like mines that you like, automated mines that will go and track down things. And this just seems to blow past half of your skill tree. It's like you've been speccing in a certain direction, of all of a sudden you feel neutered. And I don't know whether it's their way of saying like, hey, you might want to try someone else.
Yes.
But it just seems to come out of nowhere and then just destroy half your strategies or half your investment in your characters. But I mean, it's a minor gripe, I think, in the grand scheme of things, but it isn't perfect, that's for sure.
Yes. So the Overwatch ability, is that the ability where when someone moves, you kind of instantly take a shot?
That's So I'm using the Space Hulk terminology. So yeah, you can just put Mario on Overwatch, and when anyone moves, he'll shoot them. So
that's it. Yes, because then, as you were saying, the rabbit, the kind of evil Rabbids, the people they have that as well, don't they? Halfway through, then they start kind of having that ability as well, and that was interesting. The first time that happened, Nicola's face was quite stern. She was like, "What that's like." So. Yeah, you can't do that to me. But it was though. I just think it's a really good little package, and it's really interesting to see. And we'll get to some Switch stuff a bit later, but it's really interesting to see that we've had Zelda, we're enjoying Rabbids, and then we have Mario Odyssey coming, and it really feels like this year Nintendo are just, I think we've said it before on the podcast, but they really are back. You know, they really feel like Nicola. Until we played Destiny 2, she has played nothing but Nintendo Switch since March. Wow. So I think she got her Switch just before her birthday, when we went away for her birthday, and she's played nothing since. You know, it's just been Zelda. I mean, she has got every Korok seed but one and every shrine but one. So she's been playing Zelda, Mario.
Is she doing a Daz and just saving those last ones for? She doesn't want to complete it.
she just dies inside every time she turns on that map because she can't find them.
Oh no! Can you imagine ticking off the IGN guide like, it's not that one. No, it's not that one.
That's what I said. I said what we should do is not the Korok seed. I said, but the shrine. I said we should, go through, because there's only
120.
Yeah, 120. So we could easily go, right, got that, go through quite easily, quite quickly. But the Korok seeds where there's 900, there's just no way we're going to be. She just has to wander. I mean, luckily we got the DLC coming soon, so maybe wandering with her Korok mask on, it will suddenly shake, and then the house will shake with excitement. So it's just like, so yeah. I mean, so it's just really interesting to see that Nicola has always been a really big Nintendo fan. You know, that she is just absolutely loving it. So she's just absolutely kind of loving the Switch. And I really do feel that they're back. You know, and I can't wait to play Mario Odyssey, which is playable at this weekend's EGX as well, isn't it?
Interesting. Are you going to be queuing for it?
I don't know. We do have early passes, don't we? So it might be worthwhile. I know. Kind of friend of the show, Matt, his early passes. I think he's going to be using that with Super Meat Boy forever. But I might kind of make a beeline for Mario Odyssey. You know, just use that hour for something and see what happens.
Yeah, if the queue is short, I'll go there. But I'm one of these people who don't want to queue for 2 hours just to play something that's out in a couple of weeks' time.
Yes. It's not long actually, is it? It's like October 27th. So a month and change.
About 5 weeks away now, touch wood.
See, that's when we should go away on holiday once Mario's out. Can you imagine sitting on the plane and playing Mario? That would be just...
I'll use a day off just for launch day on that one, I think.
Yes. I was looking at my holiday and looking at launch days of things. I'm like, well, Xbox One X is coming out on November 7th. Do I want to take a day off for that? You know, or just at least make sure I'm at home for it, so I can then just plug it up and do the transfer while I'm kind of hit lunch or something like that.
Oh, I still find it satisfying on a new console day just playing with the settings menu. I love just poking through the corners, even if it's a console you probably know already. Just making sure everything's set up just right, making sure the resolutions, the audio is going out, or the AV equipment is working as you expect. There's something nice about just rewiring a new toy in.
There really is, you know, and obviously with the Xbox One X, they're making it really easy. Microsoft are making it really easy to plug and play, but you're right, there's all that kind of playing around with all those settings. And I did notice the other day we got... one of our Xboxes is in the preview program, and we got the new build for the dashboard. Which is really nice. You know, it's very quick. It's very smooth. Even in this kind of beta build, it seems very quick and it seems very swish. So, and looking at the two side by side as we've been playing Destiny, you really kind of notice the difference and notice kind of how quick and how smooth it is.
Yeah, Matt and I had the same, because when we were co-oping Destiny, it's like TV was side by side. It then led to the problem of like going, I need to change the volume of my headset. Matt said, I know where it is. But of course, because I'm on a preview build, it's like, this is in somewhere completely different. So it was just as confusing as it was brilliant to have a new dash. But yeah, it's slick, it's fast. It's a bit more pared down, I think. Like that initial front page is... I think a bit simpler in a good way, so you can actually see more in that one big splash screen at the top rather than having to scroll down or to the side.
Exactly. I do like when you kind of go and you get the first drop down and then you can choose achievements, and then you almost get in a window style, get another window in front of that with your achievements, and it's almost like it's layered, and it does just feel a lot tidier. It feels a lot it feels kind of next gen. It feels like it's going to look nicely, look in place with the Xbox One X. So I'm quite looking forward to kind of getting that.
Yeah.
And playing with that, because I should think that will be out in time for that, don't you? It'll just be...
Oh yes, I think that's what they're targeting with all this the beta testing,
So yes, so that's Mario plus Rabbids. What else have you been playing?
Well, I guess Destiny coming off the back of that one.
Yes,
because I actually missed intentionally launch day because Matt couldn't get the time off work on then, so we held it back for the weekend. So he came up on Saturday night, and I don't think I mentioned, but I've had TV troubles recently. My lovely new it was 18 months old, but my lovely newish telly actually developed a fault. Had a few friends over and we were playing Mario Kart, and the whole screen just froze. And I've never seen it. Like, literally the image was still on the screen, but the sound was still playing away, so you could tell it wasn't the console, it hadn't crashed. But ended up having to ring up John Lewis, who I got it through, and said, it's gone. Like, my TV's broken. Can you do something? John Lewis, excellent service. Did you know you get a 5-year policy with them off the bat?
Yes,
it's brilliant.
It's crazy.
Better than that, though, not only did they then pick it up to take away, they gave me a replacement telly while it went to be fixed.
What?
Which is, I didn't think this would be a thing. So, I ended up getting that. But then, it's fair to say that I couldn't really wait to replace the telly because I might have upgraded to your world. I might have now got a 4K HDR telly.
Ah, one of us.
I know. I'd say I felt dirty and used, but oh my word, watching some UHDs on it, it's worth every penny. Especially as they then refunded me my old telly, and I basically used it as a deposit towards the other one. So it's all gone. Long story short, I had two tellies. I had my 4K telly and the loaner from John Lewis while we were playing Destiny. So I've got this picture of me and Matt with just like two 55-inch tellers sat next to each other. It's ludicrous.
Superb.
We're just basically taking up all the sofa space as well. So there's Ali just huffing going through. Oh, God, this is my living room. It smells of boys. Anyway, so we played Destiny. We got up early on Sunday and we logged on with another friend and we started going through the campaign. And I'm really impressed because I rage quit the first Destiny pretty much. So I think it was a grind, thinking much. I just there was nowhere for me to go that was fun after a certain number of hours. And within the first couple of missions, Destiny 2 just made me forget that. It's still got that amazing quality in terms of the shooting and the feeling. But the actual story, the way they pull you through, I think is so much more engaging. First time, I think they spent too much time trying to just persuade you into this world. Like, go and have a look at these Grimoire cards. Oh, look at this fascinating thing. Oh, just accept the fact that you're a very special guardian. Oh, look at your armour. But this time round, they threw you into a world and then just kept on making you run. Like, you keep going through the story beats, and it meant the momentum was there, that you were just whistling by these. There was a story that you actually wanted to listen to. There was a world that was actually changing and not this sterile, perfect thing you were supposed to be protecting before. And I just felt so much more invested in Destiny as a whole within just a few hours compared to many, many hours I had with the first one. So yeah, it made a really good first impression, and we must have played for about 12 hours that first day.
Wow, that's a really good first session. That really kind of gets you into kind of... Well, how far were you in the campaign in that first sitting? You must have been quite far through.
Yeah, we probably got about 3/4 of the way through, because we also diverted just to do like a few patrol missions, looked off at...
Adventures as well.
Yeah, some of the adventures. Yeah. I think that's actually what really helps, because as well as the main story missions, they've got these really nice beefy side missions that are just scattered throughout the world that add extra flavour without the need to go off to another website to go and look at what enemies you're doing. But they're all there just to flesh out each world. And it's almost like some of the story missions, like the actual campaign story missions, are just teasers to drop you onto a world, go, hey, you can go and explore this later, and then they yoink you away for the next mission, which I don't mind at all, because then you get to explore it, get to explore the stories on that surface, all on its own, without being like this convoluted, contrived attempt to weave you through 5 different planets of the solar system.
Yeah, absolutely. I couldn't agree. You know, Nicola and I, we were co-oping. I think we kind of did it on release day. We kind of said, right, it's Destiny Day. We got the TV, got the other TV down. We were doing like 2 TVs in the living room, and we kind of got the TV down, and we sat and played. Nicola's on the bigger TV. I'm relegated to the smaller one, and so we started playing. And the way that we played it, and I thought was really good, is we followed the campaign, the Red War or whatever. So we followed that, and whenever it said, okay, the next campaign is light level and it was above what we were, we then went and did adventures. So we stayed in that planet and we did adventures until we were up or above that light level, and then we continued doing the campaign. And we found that kind of made for a less frustrating kind of experience. And we do the same when we were playing Borderlands as well. So if you get to somewhere that says this is level 40, you're only 35, you just kind of do the I wouldn't even say grind in Destiny 2, because it's like you say, it's a pleasure to kind of go around and play those adventures. And also the public events, they just keep coming.
Yeah.
But in Destiny 1, we had a website. There was it wasn't the companion app, it was actually a website that would tell you where the next event was, and then you would quickly go, right, we've got 5 minutes to get to this world, and you'd have to go to orbit, and then you'd go there. Where this one is just, last night we played for about 3 hours last night, and we did all of the adventures on Earth, and after every adventure there was just a public mission, a public event, and we just kept triggering those, and we kept planting it, because you can plant your flag as well, rally the flag, and that will then bring other players to you as well. So we we just kept doing that, and by doing all of the adventures on Earth in the EDZ, we ended up going from 201 to 221. I think I left my Guardian at last night, and it was just a really good. After we finished, we were like, that was amazing. We just really enjoyed it, and some people kind of, when they first saw Destiny, I think at E3, they kind of started to criticise it as well as saying it was like Destiny 1.5. But I think this is Destiny 2. This does feel like an evolution of Destiny. It looks incredible. The art style and the graphics, especially on the 4K TV. Like when I'm looking at Nicola's TV, I'm just like, that's incredible, because obviously the Xbox One S is upscaling.
Yep, I can nod in appreciation because I know what you're talking about now. Yes.
See, now you don't think I'm a loon now, you see. Like, what's he on about? But yeah, so my TV, the 1080p day one Xbox, it looks stunning. But there's something about that upscaling on the Xbox One S that just really makes it. It's not HDR or anything like that, but it just looks stunning.
They seem to have discovered colour, though. Because Matt and I were constantly saying when we were going through, like, even like Earth previously was in the Cosmodrome, but it was almost seemed like this barren grey desert. Whether you were in the buildings or outside, there was very little greenery for you actually to go around. But now you are actually skirting through like rivers, across hilltops, through cities. They have put more time, more variety, more colour, more style, I think, into each one of the environments. And fair enough if you go to the alien worlds, less so, because it's an alien world. But even on Nessus, which is where the robot Vex seem to live, in a world that seems to be mostly like square, angular constructs, they've even managed to inject more life there, be it crashed ships or areas of a red forest that just seem very alien-like. They have put far more effort, I think, far more variety to draw you through than ever before, and it helps just want to go to different areas, because before, like in the Cosmodrome, so you could be anywhere, you could literally be anywhere right now, whereas whereas now, like, okay, I'm gonna go over there just to see something different. I want to go through the forest, I want to go down the coastline, and whether that is just because they've had a more stable development route to this because of all the turmoil you heard before Destiny 1, but it almost seems, I've compared it before to like Assassin's Creed. Like, I really like the original, like Assassin's Creed 1. I love that as a template, as almost a living design doc for what could be. And then Assassin's Creed 2 provided that. They proved out that you could take this unique world where you could climb anywhere, where you could have, I still like the combat back then. I think it was still like a really solid platformer action and combat game as a whole. But then 2 gave you the story, it gave more things to do, it gave you more reason to be, it fleshed out, it made real on that potential. And Destiny 2 seems to be definitely more along those lines.
No, absolutely. It just feels, like I say, I mean, we played all of the DLC for the first Destiny, so we got to experience some story, in quotes, which was the Taken King, where they but even Nicola was saying, she had the characters, the 3 main characters, the Cade and the other guys, she said, I've just never knew these people existed before. And I said, these were the guys that were around the table. And she goes, I paid no attention to them whatsoever.
The only reason I knew Cade was because he was the chap I handed like quests into. The other 2 were just like, they could have been new characters as far as I cared.
Yes, and everyone is just so animated, and the cutscenes are just fantastic, and they introduce some new people, and it is just, like I say, I've finished the campaign now. We've finished that, but at no point is Destiny over. We're trying to get raid ready, trying to get to that kind of raid level, but in doing so, we're just having, like I say, we did all of the adventures on Earth last night. We're now going to go to the next planet and do exactly the same thing, because if you go to a planet and there's a character in each planet, and you just make sure that you give them all of the coins that you've picked up for that planet, and then you'll end up getting an engram, which you can then get bigger guns, and then you can just, so it's just so satisfying.
So you're doing it that way, because I had a minor gripe after I reached like level 20 and had done a bit of grinding, shall we say, because I just wanted to, after I'd finished the campaign, I wanted to have a roam around and not necessarily look at the adventure missions. I just wanted to stroll around and just see what the patrols were like, see what just going out into the world was like if I wasn't doing that.
Yes.
And it did feel very, very grindy. It felt like old Destiny, so thank goodness they put the adventures, thank goodness they made the public missions far more accessible. But I think I tweeted out into our Destiny WhatsApp group, I think, just as you joined, like, I was worried at that point. I was worried about I'm about power level 200. To get raid ready, I need to be 270. I just had this, what am I going to do? Like, this seems so daunting. The fact that, like, if to extrapolate friends that we know, like, I don't want to put another 15 hours of this grinding just to get to this level. But it seems like, you just naturally gently maybe notch up like 5, maybe 10 if you're lucky, like power levels an hour or two. But I've heard very many different tactics, because during this whinge, my brother sent me a little IGN wiki link of, like, this is the best way that you can level up.
Right.
And it seems like everyone's got their tactics. Like, I am actually holding back all my reputation tokens that you're handing in, because with the hope of, like, when I get to 160 and I'm going to really want the really good gear, maybe if I don't hand it until then, maybe that's when they'll give me the awesome stuff.
Got you.
Whereas my brother's not upgrading engrams for that very reason, whereas I am to make sure I get at least some progress. So it seems like everyone's got their own little niche hook, or I don't know, wives' tale of how to level up quicker, which is interesting, because there's obviously an optimum way, but then do you really want to grind just so that you then have all these thousands of engrams at the other end? It's a mix.
Exactly, and for now that we're level 20, which is the cap at the moment, every time you level up, you get another kind of, it's like a white engram, isn't it? It is white engram. You get that, which you can then take to someone that's on the farm, and then they can. And that was we found that out last night, because we've only just kind of reached level 20, and that I thought, and we got some really good. I mean, there was kind of almost the final visit to the farm after we finished Earth. We just had so much stuff that we just was like, yep, add that. I think at the moment I'm completely purple, so all of my stuff is like legendary equipment. So I was quite. And then the one thing I do love about it is shaders, because you can then kind of make your guns look terrible. You know, you can. I had a gorgeous red gun for a while, but then that got superseded with another gun, and now it's kind of yellow and it's purple and it's just really kind of weird colours, and I just really like it. When you're kind of running around the farm, there's some really elaborate looking guardians, and I want the armour that they've got. You know, I want to know
the one
where
with
to
the
get
wings.
that.
I keep seeing ones with wings.
Yes, that's the one I want.
Yeah.
And it was just good that I was talking to someone I was talking to a character, and then I turned around and there was this guy, and I was like, ooh, and I was like, it kind of scared me, because he had this aura going, and it was just like, I want that. I'm going to keep playing until I get that.
So what class are you?
I'm a Titan.
Nice, snap.
Yes,
did you choose to be Captain America, Thor, or the Hulk?
I'm Captain America.
Yes,
but I've unlocked my my hammer ability. I've done the Hulk ability. Good way of putting it. I've done the Hulk ability and I've unlocked the hammer, but I've got to do this solo mission to actually unlock that. But at the moment, I'm just loving the shield. I'm loving the Captain America moment. It's fantastic, because even if there is like high level yellow enemies that are there, you just activate that and then off you go. And Nicola's kind of catchphrase for this is, she just goes, "Oh, delicious orbs," because I'm just leaving orbs everywhere. It's, "Oh, delicious," and that's all we're saying in the Chesson household. It's like delicious orbs, nice. And they're there, and we just kind of, it's just a way of providing your team with just so many orbs.
Yeah. But I'm really enjoying just punching people in the face. Like, I know Destiny is a game all about guns, but I've equipped my Titan with an ability to I regain health when I punch people, and I also have got a skill where I give my friends in the locale shields when I punch people. Right. So when we were playing in a strike team and just wandering through, Matt and our friend Phil were just stopping back and shooting, and I was just like, Leroy Jenkins, just charging in. And I wish I could, like, you can see how many precision skills you get on a strike. Yes. I really want to see how many fools I punched in the face and made evaporate.
That should be an extra stat. But that's just so cool, because it's kind of almost, is it double tap of the RB gives you that extra double punch, doesn't it? And then that's where, because when you have your abilities, there's like 3 abilities. You have your LB throws your grenade, and then you obviously have your double tap of LB and RB. Well, we're on Xbox. Double tap of LB and RB, that will do your kind of special power, your Captain America. And then if you double tap RB, that's when you get the middle one. And at the moment, I've got an extra punch on that, so that's all, and that fills up quite quickly as well. So I'm quite enjoying that.
Do you know what? I probably didn't even realise I got it. I'm just hammering that button to punch things as fast as possible, so it just probably triggers.
You're just like, punch. But no, it's I mean, I must admit, I do have a gripe with Destiny, but that is it's my own personal gripe, and it's the achievements.
Oh, there's only 13!
What were you thinking, Bungie? And the fact that I got to level 20, and so so similar to you, 2 TVs in the same room, Nicola and I are playing, we both get to level 20 around the same time, dink on Nicola's Xbox, level 20, on mine, I'm like, crickets, nothing, and I have leveled up twice, and I still have not unlocked the level 20 achievement, and it is really annoying.
This happened with me for Hitman as well, because I was going to 100% Hitman's achievements, and I got something similar. I 100%ed one level, nothing.
Wow.
Left the Xbox on for like 2 hours after, nothing. There's a tiny bit of shonk going on there. But Matt and I were really disappointed there were only 13 achievements as well, and most of them seem to be complete the raid with a friend, fully level up a hunter, fully level up a titan. It's like these are not achievable achievements for the most part. These are, can you grind the heck out of this game achievement? So I'm slightly disappointed in that respect. So it's something that if I get, I'll be happy with, but I ain't trying for most of those.
Yeah, it's really funny because, and I guess because I do enjoy achievements, and I've been playing on Xbox for years, and you kind of, you know when an achievement's coming, so when you got to like the end of the game, you kind of go, nothing. I mean, I'm even doing that on the Switch. Even on the Switch, you know, when you kind of like finish something in Zelda, you're like, oh, that's worthy of achievement. No, there's nothing here, you know. And but to not have the achievements, just it's almost like you do your first mission, you do your first patrol, you do your first adventure. You kind of expect those to be that, and surely that's achievement 101, isn't it? You know, when you're putting achievements in the games.
I'm a big believer in that. I'm a big believer in that. Achievements should be there for exploration and achievements. Like, you should reward people for doing things, not just for rewarding the pinnacle.
Yes,
because I really self-promotion. I really like the way that we use them in like Viva Pinata 2, because they were there to attract people into different areas, and be it through people looking up the achievements and then going into all the different areas of the game, be it the online or the different sub-gardens. Yep. That would give them an achievement, but that would mean they'd actually experience the things that we have put in there, experience the work that we've done for it, and then we save some back for the higher levels. But it was always like, have you used vision cards? Have you played online? Have you done this? It was to reward discovery within the game itself. But this almost stinks back to the very early days, because I remember that Ghost Recon had an achievement for being like top of the world leaderboards, and you're thinking, what the hell? How many people do you expect to get this?
Yes, exactly. I mean, that could be forgiven for like early achievements, but wow, that is just like be top 5, and you're like, really, you could probably, I mean, it's really interesting still going into achievements now. And I said before, when you look at the rarities, but when you look at Destiny, I was quite impressed that there was a high percentage, I think it was like in the 80s, of people that are 20 level 20. For Destiny, it's like 80% of people who have played Destiny are level 20.
That's impressive, because you look at the usual like completing game stats, because getting level 20 is probably the equivalent of completing the game for just a first through, and you're usually thinking about 20. If you have 25% of people complete your game, you've done incredibly well. So
yes,
they've got a hell of a sticky retention on that.
They really have. But like I say, it's just the 13 and the fact that 1 is unachievable for me at the moment. And I've only ever played. I mean, I guess because you guys were playing on PlayStation before, weren't you? So So you've got a brand new character. I fired up. It was so nice actually, because we fired up Destiny 2, and there was my Titan. There was Nicola's Warlock. We didn't have, because I almost said to Nicola, like, why don't you? I think I was in London that day. I felt like going, why don't you just fire up Destiny? It's already downloaded. Oh, I need to talk about that as well. It's already downloaded. Why don't you fire up and start doing your character creation? Because she takes forever, and gets them really good. So much so that I think I was talking about it when we were podding a couple of weeks ago. Nicola created my Everybody's Golf avatar, and it's perfect. It's fantastic. It took her about an hour and a half, but it's absolutely
you must have been so happy when there were so limited options, like choose your face, choose your race, get next.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, like Nicola's set up my Wii's. She set up my, all of those kind of my avatar on Xbox 360.
She sculpts you digitally often.
Exactly. So she's just like really meticulous. That like her kind of Mass Effect or Skyrim characters are almost better than me. Than default guy 1. That's it. I'm off, and that's it. I'll put a beard on him, and I'm done.
Do you ever get worried she's trying to create the perfect you, Anthony?
Yes, and that's easy because I'm so imperfect. So. But I must admit, what I was alluding to about kind of talking about download, for the first time, normally when Nicola and I are playing games, we buy 2 copies digitally. But I was listening to a podcast, and I tried the buy once and play it on 2 consoles, and it works. It actually works. So basically what we have the Xbox One S, which is our primary console. So I was signed into that, and I bought preloaded Destiny 2 on that, and that's the one that Nicola uses for the big TV, and so she was on that, and I just fired up the other Xbox, and I just hit Destiny thinking it would pop up and say, you need to buy this, go to the store, and I went and I pressed it, and it just fired up, and it just started playing. So, normally where we've played things like Gears of War, Halo 5, Halo Combat Evolved, the collection, we've always bought 2 copies. But for Destiny, this has just cost us, whatever it was for the pack with the DLC. We've just bought it once, and now it's really worked out, so Nicola is playing on the primary console. I signed into the primary console, bought the game. I'm now signed into our secondary console, and we're playing on 1 copy.
Nice.
So
I don't know how I feel about that from a professional standpoint.
Yes.
But,
don't worry, I'll buy 2 copies of Sea of Thieves. Don't worry. And we've got disc copies of Viva Pinata. You're covered. We've got you covered. But it was just, I didn't know that actually worked, because I was talking to a guy at work who plays with his son, and he plays predominantly on PlayStation, but he was like, I didn't know about that. If I'm looking at a console choice and I want to now start playing with my son, I told him that it only works on digital. Obviously, you can't just put a disc in, but that's. Again, it's kind of, I don't know how I feel. I kind of felt a bit dirty to start off with, but I just don't know how Microsoft should be kind of talking about that some more. Because when I kind of Googled it, not a lot comes up. There's not a lot of hits on the Xbox support page for this, but it works, and that's just, and it's really interesting. And I was like, right, we're playing Star Wars Battlefront once we finish playing Destiny. I'm going to do all of those missions
when
with
you finish this space shooting, we're going to do some more space shooting.
We're going to do the ideal spaceship, but it worked. So the family sharing is real, it's live, and it works.
Cool.
So life is strange. So
quick, just stopping the Destiny one before we carry on. I have to say that both Mario and Destiny curtailed my Life is Strange Before the Storm exploits, but I have started it. I think it's just poor timing in terms of the release schedule, because I was overjoyed to see this come out, and I know it's not the full sequel, but it's this prequel. It's just 3 episodes, so I am accepting it for what it is, like this little nugget, this return to the world of Life is Strange. But I've played through probably about half of the opening chapter, and it's I guess it's weird going back. I had such just great feelings, great memories of the original, and so I think it's always hard to return to a game where you have so much love and interest in it.
Yes.
And so I think I was a bit disappointed with how the setup was to begin with, of how you open and Chloe is trying to go into a club, and she basically just has to berate a barman or the bouncer to try and get in there, and it's that balance between going like, are you trying to write as an edgy teenager? Are you trying to write her trying to prove herself as a teenager and just being comfortable and push it? It was this weird mix, and I don't know if it was the best opening scene for all of that, just because of how they portrayed her as this girl, I'm taking on the world.
Yes, I'm mad, I'm angry, I'm a teen.
Exactly,
yeah.
I think from the scenes that I've seen after that, it does start to settle down back into a bit more of what I liked about the character. So I'm hoping that it does push on from there.
Yeah, I finished the first episode, and it definitely does. By the time I was halfway through episode 1, felt like I was back with Life is Strange. This is fan service beyond fan service, because there's so many nods to characters, and because it's set before Life is Strange, you're kind of building the backstory, the stories that were already there. You're actually kind of seeing them play out, and I really enjoyed it. And there are some bits in there that I can't, maybe when Darren's back, he's playing it as well, because obviously the three of us kind of adored Life is Strange. So I think we should have a better chat about it. I'll probably hold back a lot of the stuff, but there's a bit in it that I just thought James is going to lose his mind when he sees this. And I was just like, and I paused it, and I was like Nicola was sitting next to me, because again, I'm trying to get Nicola to play Life is Strange because I think she would really enjoy it. And I just looked at her and I was like, James is gonna love that bit. There was this one bit, but Life is Strange, before the Storm episode 1, it really does. It comes with the feels. It comes with those Life is Strange moments that really do kind of make you you think about the consequences, you think about the games, that you think about the choices that you're playing out in this game, and I so far I cannot wait for episode 2. I think I was enjoying it so much that I just played it through in just one sitting. I just kind of went through the whole thing and just did not stop, and it's great. The music's fantastic, and like I say, it just really does feel, where it differs slightly is there are no kind of rewind time abilities, but I think you get that kind of sassy mouth of a ability, which is kind of what takes you through the game. So you just kind of talk to people, and then you kind of have that almost kind of rap battle icons that you have, and just trying to kind of get them to see your point of view. But no, I definitely feel, even though it's not the same studio, they have the feel, they have the look of Life is Strange, and they definitely kind of, and the writing is perfect.
Yeah, I forgot how much I enjoyed the look, as you say, because everything seems quite painterly. Like, if you actually look at the backgrounds, you can almost see the brush marks or the way the colours have been blended or so, and they're not afraid of showing that. It's a nice light style without trying to go obviously hyper realistic, but still getting that colour, that tone, that life out there.
Absolutely. One thing to kind of take note is that similar to Life is Strange, the original game, where you can take photos, and I didn't learn about this until later on. I don't know how I missed it. I think I was just so caught up in the game that I missed that bit. It was like, you take photos, there's an achievement. This time around, it's graffiti.
Yes.
So you're even right at the start, there's a piece there, and you can go back as well, which I kind of feel that if I wanted to go back and get all of the achievements, now is the time to do it, before you finish the story, because I never want to go back to Life is Strange, because I've completed my story. That's it, I'm done. I'm happy with all those choices. There were branches,
weren't there? There were branches that you can choose.
So I don't want to go back and mess around with that, but this game gives you the ability of kind of almost going back in a replay mode, where you can just find those graffiti points and get those extra achievements if you want.
Nice. Yeah, I know. I should make time for it. It's just, it has been squeezed. It has been squeezed.
I need to go in, because similar to the original Life is Strange, they have the bit where they say you and your friends made this decision, so it'd be quite interesting, because I remember when it was just you and I playing, it was very kind of like, it was either 100% or it was 50-50, and it was just, especially on mine, again, it was just, so it was very interesting to kind of see where we did differ in a few places.
I'll take a screenshot at the end of the first chapter then and send it you.
That's it. That's what we should do. Yes, I should save mine, and then we can kind of compare. So it's been a good kind of couple of weeks of games, really, and it's just kind of continue rolling, I guess. Yeah,
it's been stacking up, because I think it's Assassin's Creed coming out in the near future as well.
Yes.
I think that's the week after, maybe. I've pre-ordered that. It's been a long time since I've played an Assassin's Creed game, and I think the fact that it's set in Egypt, I think that ticked a few of Ali's boxes, so she'll be telling me what's factually incorrect when I'm sat playing it.
That'd be hilarious. It's like, nope, like to. It's really interesting, because my nephew was saying about how, like, I think I've mentioned it before on the pod, but how one of his teachers was actually using Assassin's Creed to get people, like, to get the kids interested in history. As well as saying, I know it's a video game, and it's not historically correct, 100% historically correct. But they were using those kind of time periods of Assassin's Creed to talk to kind of almost as a jumping point through history, which I thought was quite.
Yeah, I guess any way you can get kids engaged in a period, it's like, whatever hook takes you, and they can dive in deeper, I guess.
Yes, I mean, speaking of Ali, has she seen the new Tomb Raider trailer yet? Has she? Because I know Ali's a big fan of Tomb Raider, isn't she? So
is this the movie trailer?
Yes. So that's coming out next year, I think, isn't it?
I've seen the poster. And of the rather horse-like Lara Croft.
Yes, it's a very strange style.
And I don't mean for anyone who hasn't seen it. I do not mean an insult towards her face or anything. The poster makes it look like she's got an incredibly long neck and an accompanying mane of hair. It's weird.
Whoever went, yep, that's it, you've nailed it. Yep. Or that one, they need to be fired.
Yeah, Photoshop is a tool for evil as well as good.
Yes, indeed. But no, it's quite interesting. I mean, I wait to kind of see. This is just a teaser trailer. It'd be interesting to see kind of a little bit more. But yeah, it was interesting. It's quite nice to see kind of Lara Croft back up on screen again. And it does seem to be following the games. The recent games. She definitely looks like she's out of the recent games rather than the previous.
I did see her holding like the ice pick or whatever you call it. So yeah, it definitely seems like it's on trend.
Yes, with bandage around the arm as well. That's yes. So it's. I
wonder if she'll be screaming every 2 seconds as she just like runs around.
Dying horrible deaths, because that's what happened in my game. It was just there was some, especially in the first game, there was some terrible deaths.
Yeah, there's a lot of squelching. Yeah.
Yes. So should we get cracking into the news?
Yes.
But before we start the news, don't forget you can rate, review, and subscribe to this very podcast free on iTunes and YouTube. Quick plug. So let's jump into the news section, and in this week's news section, we kind of continued on the Nintendo train. So James, first piece of news says with you.
Yeah, to the point where it's actually labelled Nintendo Dump, where it's because they had a press conference, or I guess one of their online directs last week, and while we got to look at the Mario game a bit more, Mario Odyssey, there was just a host of snippets that I thought would quickly run through. Mario has got a photo mode. So for the first time in the Mario series, you can detach the camera from your favourite plumber, or rather retired plumber, and skim the camera around the area and taking shots of the whole world you want. And you can send that to your phone because Twitter and Facebook and everything else wasn't good enough. Absolutely. So they're adding in custom things. It's bizarre. Anyway, so new photo mode.
How many Mario dinosaur pictures are you going to be tweeting?
So many. As soon as I get that mustache on that T-Rex, then my feeds will be overloaded with happiness and close-ups.
Your Switch would just say, there's no more room for dinosaur pictures.
Just stop it. But for me, the most intriguing was they've got an in-game hint system that you can buy with in-game currency, or via amiibos, which I guess is out-of-game currency.
Yes.
But I'm wondering what this hint system is going to be, considering it's a Mario game. Whether it's like, guys, you see that mushroom? Eat it. That Gumbo, jump on it. So yeah, I want to see which way they take that.
Yes, that'd be really interesting.
Yeah, but they're just like little tidbits. Just even seeing Mario run around on the beach and there's a little, topless, I guess, got me excited. Because it's only 4 or 5 weeks away from it again.
Yeah.
Oh, it's going to be good.
There was definitely Mario nipples in that trailer. There was.
It was one of those days I woke up because we were on holiday, so I barely looked at much of the news or many websites. But I turned on Twitter. And just everyone was tweeting about this Italian's nipples. It's like, what the hell is going on with this world?
What's happened while I've been asleep?
But yeah, elsewhere, they've announced Phantasy Star Online 2 is coming to the Switch, along with a host of Bethesda software as well. So they've got Skyrim coming in November. And Doom and Wolfenstein as well, coming holiday and next year respectively, which I found very intriguing, because Doom's supposed to be this powerhouse, like this real shiny, fast-moving shooter. So I am going to be very intrigued to see how it fits on the Switch, or what they have to trim down to make it fit on a Switch.
Absolutely. I mean, when I heard this, especially, I mean, like Wolfenstein 2, that's a brand new game that's coming out next. So it's coming out this year on Xbox and PS4, but it's going to be coming out next year on Switch. But to see that Doom, I'd love to sit on a train and play Doom, because I played through I've played through it on the the Xbox One, and absolutely just really enjoyed it. And I just wonder, because before this keynote or this Treehouse or whatever it was. There before that, they were talking about that some games might actually require a card, like a memory card, so it will do some buffering. And I just wondered if maybe this was it. Like Doom, would you kind of put the cartridge in and it still needs to install onto something for more assets? Because you're right, it was. I mean, I was screenshotting a lot of Doom when I was playing it because it just looked incredible. It looked. I mean, it's scary, horrible, but it looked incredible. And I just wonder how that's going to scale.
But for both Skyrim and Doom, though, like if I wanted to play Doom, I would have played Doom by now. Like it was in enough Steam wishlist buckets or my Xbox, basket during sales, and I never quite clicked the buy button just because of time and other games that were around. So I wonder why Bethesda are doing this. Like I can actually understand Wolfenstein, because Wolfenstein, at least if it's next year, it's still within that launch window. It's still within the mindset. It's not out. People might now wait for the Switch version if they're that way inclined. But I almost just worry for those first two, Skyrim and Doom. Are they going to get launched, not sell anywhere near expectation, and then Bethesda write off the Switch because it isn't targeting their market, where in fact the problem is they are launching 2 to 4 year old, 5 year old, I think, with Skyrim games. I'm going to be very intrigued to see how that plays out, because I can't see either selling gangbusters.
And then also sending the wrong message to third parties, because this, with Wolfenstein, Doom, and Skyrim coming, you think that other third parties might be looking at this, and Ubisoft having a great time with Rabbids as well, because it's it's selling well. Yeah. So you would think that other third parties are actually going, we need to get on this Switch train. But if you're right, if they release Skyrim and it just doesn't do anything, but then saying that, I mean, Skyrim has just come out with a definitive edition, hasn't it? Nicola was playing that last year, and there's also Skyrim VR is coming out on PlayStation 4 as well. So they're still trying to get some money out of that.
Flogging this armoured dead horse. Yes.
Yes. So it'll be, like I say, I mean, if I hadn't seen Nicola play it again last year, she would have probably played Skyrim, because playing Skyrim on the go would be great fun. I kind of think that a lot of the text might be hard to read on that small screen, and that's why I was asking about Rabbids on the small screen. But I think Doom might be quite fun. I think Doom would be fun on the train with just playing it on the train, but with a Pro controller or with a controller, just like popping it up on the TV rather than having it in handheld mode, because you might kind of make yourself a little bit sick with that. But actually, kind of propping it up and playing it with a controller, that might be kind of good fun.
Yeah. Elsewhere in the directs, they have announced they have updated their mobile app to slightly less rubbish.
To 2015.
The one thing I looked at is version 11 of their mobile app, and it's still. So now they have at least made it so you can talk to your friends whilst you're using another app or the screen is locked. So they've got past that basic 101 functionality on version 11, but by all reports the rest of it is still rubbish, so we're skipping past that. They've announced they're releasing a series of arcade classics as well. So this isn't the virtual console, but this is the arcade versions of like the NES era titles of Mario Brothers, the original, not Super Mario Brothers, Balloon Fight, Ice Climbers, Pinball, Clu Clu Land, and Punch Out. So quite a few of them, they say, are very, very, very similar to the NES editions, just with subtle tweaks here or there, I guess because the arcade was more powerful in the time. But it just seems intriguing that they're not actually pursuing the virtual console. They've also got the mini NES and the mini SNES, and yet they're still doing arcade versions of old games. It seems like very mixed messages. I can't say I blame them. They're at least trying to go down a different well and get something out of it. But yeah, you tempted by any of those?
Well, no. I mean, I'm still waiting for Virtual Console. The NES, the SNES, the Super Nintendo that's coming out kind of this year. That's still hard to get a hold of. But Nintendo are actually saying, don't buy don't buy inflated prices from eBay. Wait, we're going to try and get a lot more stock out. But I would enjoy that if they just took all those games that are on there and just placed it onto the Switch, because that's where I want to play my Nintendo games now. I'm really I'm trying to ride out these because I just want that virtual console. I want to play a lot of those games that are in that SNES package, but I want to play those on the Switch, and none of these games really were grabbing me. It might be fun if they were free, but I just really I'm just waiting for that virtual console to really scratch that itch for me.
Yeah, because being the NES fan that I am, there are some games there that I think still hold up. Like, I think Balloon Fight is still a good game. It's the kind of game you'd actually probably find people playing on a smartphone. It's not too dissimilar to Flappy Bird in some respects, and Punch Out has still got its merits as well. But things like pinball, if it's the same as the NES pinball, then dear God, do not buy it. It's like a game of pinball in that respect. Is like someone has heard of pinball, but they haven't really played it, and so this is the approximation of it. So
they saw it once.
Yeah.
Wow. But yeah, though I do hope that this. I mean, as I was saying earlier, I do think Nintendo are back, in a big way. But I do hope that they sort out that virtual console and sort this out. This bit of where you're putting your retro games, or how you're going to be selling them to us. So is it going to be its own page in the store where I can go there, or can I get a Netflix model, which is what we might be getting to a bit later.
Yeah. And finally, Minecraft. If we talk about, if I'd have bought Doom, I'd have bought Doom by now.
Yes.
Just in case if you're holding out, Minecraft is now on the 3DS.
Wow.
Which I could actually see working really well with the stylus, to be honest. But yeah, it's now on the 3DS. So for all of those out there who were holding on for this one specific platform, the Palm Pilot hadn't quite got the capabilities, so now you can get it on the 3DS.
That's just so cool.
Yeah. So now I think that's the complete gamut, because I think it's on everything under the sun now. So yes, choose your poison,
including ovens and fridges and everything else.
It'll be the new Doom, won't it? It's like, I've got Minecraft running on my fridge. Yeah.
It's just so cool. And then that was out that day, wasn't it, as well?
Oh, yes, that's out already.
And I was like, that's out.
That was like, check under your seats. There it is.
Yes. And then it still perplexes me that we're still getting 3DS games that are coming out. We had, is it Metroid as well, came out last week?
Yeah.
So then, and a lot of people are talking about that as well. I think a lot of people are just excited to have a Metroid game again. But it still confuses me that Nintendo have this amazing console that is the Switch, but yet they're still almost one hand is on that 3DS. It's almost like they didn't trust what the genius that they had with the Switch.
Well, I guess given what happened with the Wii U beforehand, I can understand their hesitancy to move on to other planes. But I do hope they phase it out soon, because although the 3DS has got a huge user base, you just think that no matter what they're doing, it is resources that could be put into the new daddy on the market.
Yeah. Absolutely. I mean, the Switch has just been selling just so well, and so much so that next piece of news was that the Switch was the biggest selling console in August with the MPD. So the MPDs came out about a week ago, and it had Switch as the biggest selling console in the US for the month of August. In fact, the Switch has been the best selling platform for 4 of the 6 months since it launched. So even though people were scrabbling around and trying to get it, they were still getting it. They were still getting these consoles, because it's pushed it up high in the MPD, so much so that it's beating Xbox and PlayStation 4, which is very interesting. I should think, obviously, as we get closer and closer to that holiday season, it's going to be a really interesting battle, because you would see probably Xbox having November because of the Xbox One X, and the Scorpio edition has now sold out completely. But I saw online today that probably by the time this podcast is posted, that the Xbox One X, just the normal edition, will be available to pre-order on both Amazon and Game and other sites. So I would think that they probably got November, but then when you get to December, January, it'll be very interesting to see Switch, Xbox, PS4, which one of those really does come out on top.
Yeah, because I get the feeling up until this point as well, the Switch is almost sold on word of mouth. I mean, it could be because I'm fast forwarding through the adverts in the Bake Off, so don't see their mass media campaign. But I think so many people have either heard from friends or just caught up with the hype or just the constant, oh, I hear there's a new Mario Kart out. They seem to have a lot of goodwill, good word of mouth that's getting out there, which probably explains this drip feed of I need it that's going around at the moment.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it was really interesting. Last weekend, my sister and her boyfriend came down, and we went to Brighton. So we had it was like an hour and a half train journey from Tunbridge Wells to Brighton. And so I said to him, do you fancy a game of Mario Kart? Because he's just a little bit younger than me, but he was like, I really enjoyed the SNES version of Mario Kart. I was like, well, you're going to like this. So I got the Switch out, and even he was like, well, what is this? What am I looking at? What's it? And I was like, you don't know what this is, but he absolutely, he started off going, I only like the SNES, and he actually just loved playing Mario Kart, so much so that on the way back he was like, are we going to play some more Mario Kart? And then we got it out, and we ended up between the four of us having a little kind of tournament, and it was really
Did you
funny.
take extra Did you take extra Joy-Cons?
No, it was winner stay on, unfortunately, because I said to Nicola, I said, can we take your Switch with us as well? And then we could have two screens and we could have a LAN, but she didn't want to bring it, so it was just two joy fans, and just so
that would be dedication.
Winner stays on. And it was really funny because I don't think Amanda's boyfriend, I don't think he knew kind of just how much a gamer Nicola was. So he was like, I beat him a couple of times. It was quite nice.
Then he turned to the girl to see.
Yeah, he did. And he went, I really want to play Nicola. And Nicola was like, oh, okay, like this. And she almost kind of did that thing where she had the controller upside down. It's like, oh, is this how you hold it? She was just like being really, and then she just cleaned his clock completely. And it was just like,
nice.
But it was so funny because when we were going to Brighton, we were where Daz lives. When we were going to Brighton, there was Brighton and Hove were playing at home, so the train was quite packed. And we ended up, it was so funny, we were playing this race, and we looked up, and our table was just surrounded by people, and these kids were going, "Come on, Mario! Come on, Mario! Come on!"
And
we had
sides as you raced.
It really was. There was like a spectator thing, and it was like Nicola was so funny. She was just like, you just looked up, and there was all these people that were just fixated on this race. And it was just it was great fun. But yeah, so absolutely, I do think it's kind of word of mouth that, like I say, I don't know if my sister's boyfriend's now going to buy one, but he was definitely kind of impressed by what the Switch is and couldn't believe that you could then go and take that and dock it and it was on the TV as well. Just these kind of things just blew his mind. So he definitely, Nintendo won a fan that day. So I don't know if he's bought one, but he's definitely won a fan.
He's back in the race though. Yeah.
Indeed. Excuse me. I mean, it's quite even interesting with the MPDs for August. You have Splatoon 2, you have Mario Kart, and you also have Legend of Zelda. They're all in the top 10 as well. So Nintendo have their three big tentpoles, apart from ARMS, obviously. We don't talk about that. Apart from ARMS.
God, I just about put that out of my mind.
Did you trade that in for Splatoon? So
I bought it digitally.
Oh my goodness. I'm never going to want this.
This is the cost of me going digital this generation. Just every time I boot at my Switch, just the reminder of what an idiot I was is there lurking, staring back at me.
I could just imagine when you bought it, you were like, I'm never going to not want this game. It's going to be amazing. And then it just...
Oh, it was like effectively a post-E3 hangover. I'd come back, I was slightly jet-lagged, I wanted something fun and simple to play, so naturally I bought that like a fool.
But it
happened last year. When I came back from Gamescom, I bought... the game that we do not speak its name, No Man's Sky.
Right.
I bought that, and I bought that digitally because I wanted it there and then, because I was just trying to recover from the week off, the week away. So I had a day off, sat down and played it, and again hated myself for purchasing it. So the lesson I'm learning is do not buy anything when you are having just a relaxation after a week at a conference.
Yes, no post-conference games for you ever. No digital ones. At least get them by disc so you can get rid of them and never speak of them ever again.
Just go back to Rocket League.
Yeah, exactly. Yes, exactly. Yeah. But yeah, though, so it's really good to kind of see them kind of in the MPDs, and like I say, they're kind of a real strong showing. So yes, so it'll be interesting to see kind of what Christmas brings. Next piece of news, sir. Well, we're continuing our Switch train.
It all seems to be blending into one. To be honest, it's guys, hold on to your hats. It's another piece of Switch news. Although I say Switch news, I think Anthony and I both looked through the news, he says again, doing bunny quotes. There wasn't much this week that was truly devastatingly interesting. So I picked one that was close to my heart, and it's the fact that people have found a NES emulator within the Switch itself. As with everything nowadays, people go digging around within the firmware and the OS of any piece of hardware that gets shipped. But a chap called Switchbrew, or I guess a website called Switchbrew, discovered that actually within the Switch itself is a NES emulator, and it actually comes with a game that is the 1984 NES classic Golf, simply called Golf. And they what I particularly like is they tried to disguise this because all the files were called Flog, which those quick amongst you will know that is golf backwards. And it's like they put some effort into this, though, because not only is it a working game of golf, it actually works with the motion controls on the Joy-Cons as well. So they've actually put a bit more effort in than your usual NES emulation. But what this has done is sort of spark, I guess, questions all around the communities about what does this mean? Was this like a hangover from when they were going to offer you a free NES game every month if you subscribed? Is this the start of a virtual console? Did this just happen to be hanging around from when they did the NES Mini and got included accidentally? No one actually knows because Nintendo haven't commented on it. But just the fact they're shipping a NES emulator within the OS just makes me smile. Just the fact it's tucked away within there. The community hasn't actually figured out a way of booting it legitimately, like using any sort of button combination or hack, but they have obviously found it and got it running through nefarious means. But who knows what this might mean going forward.
That's really interesting. It's kind of almost like that was the in-box game that they were going to do as like game number one that was already on our system, but they haven't decided to flip that switch yet. This is really, how did they find it? Is it, like you say, is it just the data mining that they do, and then they start like kind of clicking on the assets?
I think pretty much so. I think especially when the file formats, the file format of a NES ROM is very well known this day and age, and I think it's even. I think they even use on the NES Mini the file format of many common general purpose emulators, so they haven't even tried to strip it out for their own.
Wow.
So I wouldn't be surprised if someone just went, I know that header, this is what this does. So yeah,
wow, that's incredible.
Nice
that's
little
fantastic.
Easter egg anyway.
Yeah, indeed. It would be nice if that kind of comes available at some point. And then finally, the last piece of news is
it Switch related?
No, it's PS4 and Xbox together, combined. Ooh. Utopia has happened because finally PS4 and Xbox One players could play together in glorious cross-platform play, but only for a weekend. So this weekend, the weekend that just gone, in Fortnite. So the game Fortnite by Epic Games that's been out, kind of, I think it's still kind of almost out in a digital beta at the moment. So you can download it and play it, but it hasn't had a box release yet. But that was out, and it's out. And last weekend in the co-op sandbox mode, suddenly there was a whole subreddit that just erupted because they noticed that PS4 and Xbox One players could play together in this sandbox mode. So much so that there's a picture of a father and son who are playing co-op, and the son's on PS4, father's on Xbox, and they're playing together in the same sandbox. So this is it. This is the dream. This is Phil Spencer's dream. Now, Epic Games did confirm that there was a configuration setting that went a bit awry over the weekend, which enabled this crossplay. So this is how easy it is. But obviously, Sony have shut it down. Interestingly, Phil Spencer, someone tweeted Phil Spencer just to say about, what did you think about this kind of crossplay? It was really easy, or any comments, and he just said he would have liked to have seen it being left on. So obviously, because Sony have in the past they have criticised that they don't feel that their customers are safe in this cross-platform environment, which is bizarre because Xbox Live is like the most policed and safe environment, yet Sony, who they have a lot of catching up to do, feel that it's not safe enough, and they've always said no to cross-platform for Rocket League, Minecraft, and other games.
I just wonder what they think. It's like human sacrifice, dogs and cats living together, mass hysteria. What is going to happen when these two streams cross?
Exactly. It's like if we let them in, they're going to ruin everything. They're going to ruin the PlayStation ego. But yeah, so it was active. So we had this utopia of everyone playing together, and I love this idea. I love this idea. A lot of my friends, as a lot of people have done in this generation, have kind of, maybe they were Xbox gamers before and they've jumped over to PlayStation. And I have a lot of friends where, especially with Star Wars Battlefront coming out, there's a lot of people at work as well going, we've got to play Battlefront, it looks incredible, we're playing it, and I'm like, okay, what are you on? And they're like, PS4, and I'm like, well, I'm going to get that on Xbox because my brothers are on Xbox, and it would just be really cool just to be able to kind of play cross-platform on them. I had the friend of the show messaged me on Twitter saying, oh, you got Destiny, let's hook up and let's play together, and unfortunately he was on PlayStation 4, so it was like, it's just such a pain that you can't do those co-op events or even just some Crucible together. So but it looks incredibly, I mean, this is me from an outsider, if it's just a configuration setting, there's just like, you unfilter the PS4 and that, it just, because I always thought there would be two very separate servers on very separate sides of a server farm that couldn't be anywhere near each other,
and a policeman just walking up and down tapping his baton in the middle to make sure there's no cross interference.
Yeah, I mean, we have all of our kind of, lot of our servers at work are all kind of outsourced, and they're in as like a server farm, and because of our data requirements, we're in a cage that no one can access, and it's not near another one. And I always thought this was it. There was a server for PS4 and there was a server for Xbox One, and I always kind of thought it was like something like that.
Do you know how expensive that would be?
I know, but that's what I thought it would be. There'd be like just some kind of big Azure platform for each one.
I just really hope, though, this was someone's intentional mistake, shall we say?
Yes.
That it was almost like this £5 rider going like, Dave, bet you can't. I bet you can't get it going for a whole weekend before anyone notices.
Yeah. It's like, let's see how long it is before it appears. They were probably refreshing Reddit, waiting for it to come. And they're like, come on. Who's got a day?
They finally noticed.
Yeah, they had a whole poll at work for. I mean, it's quite interesting because it's really interesting to see these kind of things happen. How they do change games. There's this kind of a dev just trying something new, which might have activated this. Borderlands got its look. Borderlands got the look and feel that it has and that I love, the cel shaded, because a dev it was due to come out. It had a very gritty look, and a dev was kind of, this gritty look is everywhere. So they kind of took it home and took some assets home, and they cel shaded it and then presented it back to the team. And then everyone saw that and were like, that's our game. We have to do it like that. Yeah. And Borderlands, I love Borderlands so much because of that look. It was one of the things that I'd seen it before, wasn't very interested, saw it cel shaded, and it was one of my favorite games on the 360. And it was kind of something like this as well, where you, like you say, you just get someone go, let's just try this, because this couldn't have been an accident, could it?
No,
it was intentional, maybe to show Sony how easy it is and how nice it is when that happens.
No one died during the process, so
yes.
those Xbox gamers can't be all bad.
Yes, but the funny thing is, especially as like Sony thinks that Xbox Live is bad, that people started noticing, because you can't have spaces in your PlayStation name, so they started noticing these lots of kind of these usernames with no spaces. And that was it, and they're probably bad ones as well, because you can't change your PSN name as well, so probably some really bad names that are not policed, and then suddenly they started noticing it, and then it started appearing on subreddit,
and then the fun stopped,
and then Sony just called them, sent them an email and shut it down quite quickly. So it's everyone's back kind of in their own little box, in their own little sandbox, playing in their own little worlds, but you never know, maybe Sony will kind of one day open it up, and because we've got the Play Together Minecraft, haven't we, soon, which is Switch, Xbox, PC, that's coming.
3DS? I don't know. Maybe
3DS.
That's in the bucket now. Who knows?
Yes.
But yeah.
Who knows? But yeah, so that's all kind of coming, and that's kind of, so it'll be interesting to see kind of how Sony play it now, especially now that this has happened as well.
Nice. I live towards the day, and I hope to see that soon.
It would be so nice. But anyway, that's about it. We have no VR desk because obviously Darren is not with us today, and we wouldn't do it justice. So that's about it for this episode. Big thank you for listening. Big thank you, James, for the natter.
It's been a pleasure. Thank you.
Yeah, don't forget you can keep up with us at gamersoftheLostSpark.com. You can also find us on Facebook, on Twitter, we're at LostSparkPod. Can't talk now. You can find us on YouTube and also Gamers of Lost Spark, PS4 Community and Xbox One Club. James, where can people find you online?
I am Big Sheep on Twitter, Xbox Live, PlayStation and Nintendo.
And I am Chessman on Xbox Live and Nintendo Switch, PS-Chessman on the PlayStation Network, and Chessman UK on Twitter. Don't forget, if you have any feedback, please send it to our email address. That's feedback@gamersoflostspark.com. We'll see you next week, guys. Some EGX news, because we're at EGX this weekend. Well, I am, and you are, James.
Yep.
So we'll
some combined pizzaing going on Thursday.
Oh, yes, pizza time. I finally get to play with the pizza oven. It will not be the same after I've been. Right, we'll catch up with you next week, guys. Cheers, bye.
Ta-ra.